stop. Woo. Woo. Stop, 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 stop.
Hi there. Welcome to the replay of the Intricate Conversations with Swaps episode 6, Stay Fit 2021. I'm your host, Swapnesh Sebastian, business consultant and trainer. To know more about me, you can click the link which is there on the description tag. Thank you so much for clicking this link and joining this video. And today we're going to look at how we can stay fit in the year 2021. We have with us two international athletes, Amit Khanna, former 100-meter champion and national record holder, and Sangeeta, former international athlete and SAF Games record holder, both of them being fitness experts right now and helping people improve their health and fitness. I'd like to thank them for joining us, and more importantly, I'd like to thank you for joining us to watch this video. Thank you so much. Once again, I hope you have a great show, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. The other episodes of Intricate Conversations with Swaps are available on the YouTube channel Swapnesh Sebastian. We also appreciate the contribution made by Sanafit to make this possible for all of you. Our first speaker is Amit Khanna, and here is a quick introduction to Amit Khanna's profile.
In India? Will it be Vikram Singh or will it be Amit Khanna?
Two young lads from Delhi's Nehru Stadium will be battling it out for honors to be the country's fastest man.
There's Amit in lane 5 moving ahead of Vikram Singh. Yes, it is Amit all the way here and Vikram giving a hot chase, but it is Amit who seems so confident that he had to raise his arm before the finish line and confirming that yes, he is the fastest man in India.
I'm really feeling great because I think I created a new national record. That was my dream, because I was preparing for that only.
It is said that once a sportsman is always a sportsman. So here we are introducing someone who has given his whole life to athletics. 20 years as an international athlete and around 7 years as a coach. Shri Amit Khanna, the fastest man of India from 1995 to 1998, national record holder of 100 meters, best athlete of the country in the year 1997, won many medals for the country in international athletic championships, from winning medals in South Asian Games, Junior Asian Track and Field, Asian Masters Athletics, and World Masters Athletics. He has won many laurels for the country as an athlete, and now athletes trained by him are winning medals in international athletics. Narayan Thakur and Mohammad Arif have won gold medals for the country in Para Asian Games and Para Junior World Championships. So let's hear from him.
So much. You've got my memories so fresh, overwhelmed. Thanks so much for the lovely introduction. I think those hard work, those memories are still very fresh with me. So I'm blessed that way. Thank you so much. Oh, definitely, yes. First of all, I would like to say hi to everyone in the meeting today. And it's lovely to have people who really want to be fit anytime in life, whether it is any year, any age of their lives. So I'm always been very desperate and very greedy for my fitness levels. And 2021 is no other year, is no different. But this year I have realized that my targets have been a little different than just being physically fit. My targets would be to keep my mind calm, to always stay positive with a great body. So I want to maintain a balance between my mental fitness and my physical fitness. Guys, it is very important because I think the amount of stress we are going nowadays, it is very important to have your mental fitness as well. So my 2021 target would be to maintain that mental fitness and the physical fitness balance. My life has been a roller coaster for the last 1.5 years. I'm just trying to calm myself down more and at the same time continue with my physical fitness. So it's the balance. Given a great example of the recently conducted cricket match, 36 they were all out, and after that they just bounced back and won the series. So 2000 I retired from sports because of some injury. Then I got married, family, all those issues and jobs and all that thing. But then by 2006 I was weighing around about 97, 96 kgs, which is like 16, 17 kgs excess than my normal weight. So I started feeling that I am carrying a baby 24/7 on my waist, which is weighing 20 kgs. And that was causing a lot of pain in my knees. My back was hurting. So I thought it's over. So there were 100 reasons for me to give up. But there was one reason that kept me going. And that one reason was that I again wanted to run for the country and win medals for the country. So that one reason took advantage and got the edge, and I started my sports again. I started, again, the beginning is very difficult. For anybody who's unfit, the beginning is very difficult. I feel a good beginning is half done. The first step taken is the biggest battle won. So if you can take the first step, make small targets. So I started my sports then in 2007. Every day was a struggle. Every day I was fighting with my injuries. I used to bind myself. I used to put conditions. If I will not run, this thing will not happen. I will not achieve this. So I started running with the girls. Then my targets got better and better and better. And I won the world championship in the masters category. So I think, it's all in the mind. And you see, there will be 100 reasons for you to give up. It's very cold, I can't move out. It's very hot, I can't move out. Sun is stopping me. But you need to find out that one reason for which you will continue. So find out your one reason, and I'm sure you're going to rock. I feel our life is like a lemon and spoon race. I think we have all played lemon and spoon race, in which we hold a spoon tightly in our mouth. So I feel the spoon is like our career, our future, bigger house and all that stuff. We hold the spoon very tight. And I feel the lemon is like good health. So while running this race and holding our career tightly in our mouths, if we lose that lemon of good health from the spoon, we are considered as lost. So maintaining a balance between your career, your physical fitness, and your mental fitness is the real fitness. I think we all have seen a lot of people with great bodies, but they give up to the stresses of their life and they end their lives. We have heard there's a news, we've been hearing stories like that. So it is very important to keep that mental balance and the physical balance all together. And let's not work only on building up muscles. You need to have an overall fitness. Very, very valid question. And I must tell you, don't go for short-term goals. See, people are doing business. In the gym, they're going to make muscles quickly, giving you steroids and other supplements. And those are the short-term goals which you really want. The longer and the harder you're going to be working for your muscles, the longer your muscles going to stay in your body. See, life is really long and you want to stay fit. I'm like 47 now, but I have no complaints about the muscles and the fitness. If people going to listen to those gym trainers and start taking supplements and other steroids, you're going to have quick definitely your muscles will be built in overnight or 15 days or 20 days, but the side effects are bad, and it's going to be very, very short term. So don't go for big muscles. Go on overall fitness, build up your endurance and the endurance of your muscles as well. Size, don't go just for size. 2020 Olympics, which has been postponed to 2021, and even now it has not been sure that it's going to happen in 2021, because recently I was hearing in the news that it might get postponed from, like, Japan was trying to host it, but I don't know. So it's really uncertain at the moment, and I feel pity for the athletes, because the life is for the sprinters especially, the life is very limited, 2, 3, 4 years maximum. And see, the fitness levels when you are peaking up, when 2020 was the time when you were supposed to peak and you were at the peak, and that time the Olympics have been postponed, so it gets very difficult. And see, if Olympics going to happen even in 2021, we cannot predict anyone's performance, because no events have been done in this year. Otherwise, you usually get to see athletes preparing themselves for Olympics by performing and doing competitive sports continuously. But this year, no competition has taken place. So everything is unpredicted. No one can predict who's going to win, like Usain Bolt, Safa Powell. They were like, there used to be a lot of contests. Yeah. So people used to be able to predict, this guy going to be winning.
Thank you so much, Amit Khanna. That was a wonderful, motivating few points from you. And I hope a lot of people would be inspired to take their fitness seriously and also to take their health as an important parameter for this particular year, 2021. Before we go to the second speaker, we have an inspirational story. The story of a young man named Bourbon. Bourbon was, before lockdown, 118 kgs and struggling to walk and do some of his regular activities. And he worked on his fitness, he exercised, worked on his diet, and in a matter of 6 months, he was able to reduce significant amount of weight. And today he stands at 82 kgs, active, being able to do all the things that he has to do like a young man. So I hope this inspires you. And if you have any more inspirational stories, please do share it with us on the email swap2304@gmail.com. Hope this example inspires you, and hope we have many more examples to inspire us. Our second speaker for today is Sangeeta Mohan. Let's watch an intro video to see Sangeeta's profile and her achievements. When this girl in the photograph, 8 years then, accompanied her brother to the track, little did she know that she's going to have such a massive impact in Indian athletics. Introducing you to Sangeeta Mohan, international athlete and fitness coach. 4 international medals, 30 national medals, and over 200 state medals and several national records. This is Sangeeta Mohan, an athlete and a fitness trainer who with passion and a vision. Greatest achievement was winning the SAF Games high jump with a SAF Games record in the year 2004, and the record stands till today. She's won several awards, including 5 years of Chief Minister's Sports Award on the trot, and has several records to her name. Although Sangeeta made her career in sports through high jump, growing up as a young kid in school, she won several medals in other events as well, in sprints and other jump events. She won her first national medal at the age of 11 and continued pursuing her sports career and progressed really well there. Sangeeta also done well in academics, and for those who believe that academics is not for those in sport, she definitely is an example to show a positive light. Having scored 91% in her 10th and 96% in her 12th grade, she did well to complete her course in the College of Engineering Guindy in the field of electronics and communication. And after 10 years of corporate life at Cognizant, she's come back to her roots of sport, where she believes she wants to give back to society using her brainchild, FitZen, primarily focused on helping women gain fitness and an active lifestyle in their life. So once again, introduce you to Sangeeta Mohan, international athlete. Welcome to the show, Sangeeta. It's an honor to have you, and hope you will give us some valuable tips to stay fit in 2021.
Okay. First, I would like to start off with good evening and hi to all the participants over here. And I would like to add on to that I'm really honored to be here along with Amit Bhaiya. He was way my senior. We learned looking at him, and he's such an humble person with such great records. So, Amit Bhaiya, happy to be here along with you. And yeah, to your question, Swapnesh, I hope, I assume you're starting with a joke, right? Because this is one of the most funniest thing I've heard, but I've heard it quite a number of times. Okay, not just from you, I've heard it quite a number of times. Actually, no one ever comes up with a statement that musicians cannot study, actors cannot study, a person who wants to be a chef cannot study. So I don't understand what is this huge false impression about sports persons. Yeah, I really don't know. So actually, technically speaking, in fact, research shows that sports people actually perform better on test of cerebral and actually intellectual ability. Okay, because their organization skills are amazingly good, right? You need to organize your entire life, so it helps them kind of accomplish success in both their life, not just sports and academics, but in multitude different fields also. See, from my personal experience, right? We went to an international competition in Iran when I was in my 12th standard. So by the time we came back, it was just a week for the board practicals. And believe me, when I tell you, I did not take my book to the meet. Okay, I didn't even have the thought of taking my books to the meet. But I think I really fared decently well. I got 96% in 12th and all that. So I really don't believe in this. It's really a myth and a joke that sports persons cannot study. Yeah. Actually very tough for me to talk about only two, because what I am today is entirely because of my experience. I'm not just talking about the job or this. It's basically the habits that you learn as part of sports. But if you want me to pick up the top two, then I would say the first one is about you learn to prioritize and plan. Okay, when you're in sport, right? See, once you're into professional sports, you have to plan and prioritize every aspect of your life. You have to you finish your homework at school, you have to study for the test on the bus, and if you have to make a decision whether you want to go to a party or take a nap so that you're ready to be in the ground by evening. But that doesn't have to mean that you also have to miss out on fun stuff. So believe me, I had all the fun in the world, but it's just that inherently you learn to prioritize stuff, because less time means we have to plan preparation, and you have to act aggressively. It's just like playing between a 2020 and a test cricket, right? So when you play a test cricket, you have all the time in the world. You can stand, you can hit, you can plan and play, you can slowly play. But when it comes to 2020, you don't have the time. You really have to plan your strategy before you go onto the ground, right? So just like that, sports really helped me prioritize and plan. And the second one is an amazing thing, which says that you cannot always win, right? And it is okay. It's perfectly okay to lose. That is something, a valuable life lesson I took from sports. And you learn to celebrate failure, okay? Because failure is what gives you the tenacity to fight. And you also get an insight of what you did wrong. And you try to make yourself feel better. Okay. Again, I would like to quote a personal experience in my case where I made a transition from school to college. There was a slump in my performance. I started losing a lot. Okay. So a lot of people around me said my sports career is over and that's it and all those things. So me and my coach, what we did is we sat down, we worked on various technical aspects, And I was pretty angry and mad at those people who talked about me. So, but my coach made sure that we channel all that anger into positive aggression. And that is what actually helped me gain the South Asian Games medal. So, sports kind of teaches you to celebrate success actually. Yeah, yeah, Nitshit. Yeah, amazing question because my passion currently, I quit my IT field and I came into this fitness because I wanted to make a difference, right? Especially to women. There are, uh, you see a lot of trainers, but quality women trainers are very less in our country. So that has always been my passion. So what I would like to tell the women is, fitness is not a lifestyle actually. Fitness is like brushing your teeth, right? Like taking a shower. It is just a part of your life. It is not something that you put on a task list or anything. You don't say, I get up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I take a shower. So fitness is just a part of your life at all. It's a fundamental need along with food, clothing, and shelter and all. See, I just as Mohammed Bhaiya was talking about, right? People around the gymnasiums and a lot of organizations, individuals now capitalize on the fear of being fat or being not fit. So what they do, they have a lot of programs like reduce fat in 20 days, 30 days transformation. These are all there because they are easy to sell. You know, you think you will achieve what they say, and you might achieve, but it's not going to make you fit in the long run, right? So don't confuse fitness with weight loss. Both are not one and the same. I know people who are overweight but still strong and agile. At the same time, there are people who are skinny but still not fit. So pursue fitness as part of your life and also judge your fitness by the quality of the amazing things you're able to do in your life because you're fit. Right. I think you are asking all the questions which the audience would have in their minds, Swapnesh, actually speaking, right? Okay. So let me talk about, what are the challenges? See, I'm not going to talk about the challenges that they face after they get into fitness, right? See, after you get into fitness, you have different challenges like you have lot of misinformation around you. You have to understand supplements. Do you need it or don't need it? Then you have maintaining form, posture, managing sleep, how much water should I drink, all that. I'm not going to touch upon all that. See, but what people, common person is struggling is to take the first step and commit themselves to fitness. In that, if you think the first point that people tell me challenge is why I need to do it, right? And the only thing you can do to overcome that challenge is to prioritize yourself, right? So I can state 100 reasons why you have to prioritize yourself. But I would always say one thing: the most painful thing in life is to stand outside a hospital room waiting for someone to get better, right? Is that what you want to give to your loved one? So with that simple note, I'm telling you, just please prioritize yourself before others' needs, before your spouse or kids or parents or anybody's needs. Only if you're fit, you will be able to make a difference to them. One. Second one, laziness. To be frank, I've heard this is quite many people saying, I'm lazy, I'm not able to get up in the morning. Okay, fine. If you're not able to get up in the morning, work out afternoon, evening, night, any time is okay. So, would you be lazy about something fun? No, right? So, try to make fitness a fun event for you. So, start embracing fitness. And the third challenge would be availability of time, right? Everybody now comes up with this. I don't have time. Yeah, I have office, I have kids to take care, I have my own project schedules and all these things. See, I would say, again, it's something that you have to manage. One simple advice I give to my clients is, I just want you to do one thing, which is basically uninstalling Prime, Netflix, Facebook, and Instagram. You will find that you have a lot of time. If you're a person who doesn't use all those, then just install WhatsApp. Then you will find that your entire day is free for you, and you'll have a lot of time to, pursue your fitness. Hey, it's really fantastic that a lot of parents want to involve children in the sports, and it's being taken consciously these days. You know, those days it was pretty subconscious or happened automatically. If the child is interested, it'll play. That's how I did. I just went along with my brother, right? But now parents are very much focused on sports. First, we need to understand the question why, right? There are 40 million people in US alone dying of lifestyle diseases, so all we can do is to address these at a root level, right? To ensure that the upcoming generation is healthy and fit. Unfortunately, we are surrounded by a lot of pollution. We have all these pesticide fills. So to counteract all those ailments around us, the only way to make sure is to be fit mentally, to be fit physically, and to follow a healthy lifestyle of your own, right? So, for parents, what would I say is the best gift you can give your child is health. And don't fret too much about enrolling them in structured classes until they are 7 or 8. Okay. I see there are parents who come and request me, can you coach my child who's 4 year, 5 year, and all? Children should not be involved in organized sport till at least they are 7 or 8. Only then, if they are interested, they can join. And also, rather, the parents should play with the kids. You have to run around, you have to kick a ball, ride a swing with them, and do everything that makes your child motive, active. For all these, again, it comes back to the same point where we say you got to be fit. So your kids look at you for inspiration, right? My kids come along with me to the gym. They have their own mini dumbbells or whatever strength training. My kids are 5 and 10, but still, whatever I do, they keep mimicking the same thing. So it's basically the parents who have to be the inspiration one. And also, a good thing would be a parent can make a list, right? You make a list of what are the most important things you want for your child. I'm sure math or physics or even a car wouldn't come in the top 5 or top 10 rather. Rather, health is something that is a priority. So let us spend more time with the kids. There's no point in sending them away for classes. So let us spend more time to make them more healthy and fit.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. That was a fantastic few minutes with you, and your experiences from sport and your lessons from fitness are awesome. And we are honored to have you here. Now let's go into the Q&A. And over here, we're going to discuss some of the frequently asked questions by people regarding fitness, the challenges they face, the issues they see as blocks to their fitness, and probably the kind of stories that people need to get motivated to stay fit in 2021.
Yeah. See, I would definitely would love running, but since my knees are in not that great shape, so I would spend more time into gymming nowadays.
Right.
And walking, of course. So cardio and strength combination.
Yeah.
And right from the early days, I really love to play with my pulse. But yeah, this is the best way. You don't need any coach. You don't need anyone to actually monitor. When you're running, your pulse goes naturally up.
Yeah.
And that's the best form to raise your pulse and
Right.
get fitter. So
Uh,
for me, running and gymming.
Anybody who knew
Right.
me would tell you the answer. I don't have to say it's basically weight training. Okay.
Right.
I feel so happy, and rather, if I'm frustrated or anger, it's in the it's with the weights, right? I go to the gym or a weight. And if I'm happy, I go to the gym. Everything is about weight training. That is my favorite mode of workout. But otherwise, obviously we have to address all aspects of fitness also. So I do a lot of high intensity training also, and a lot of yoga to keep yourself mentally fit.
Right.
Definitely, yes, there are problems, and all these problems are genuine problems. But I remember working in the government, there are a lot of things, and when you're in the uniform services, it gets really difficult to take out time. And sometimes you have bosses which doesn't let you move out and reach the stadium.
Yeah.
So for that moment, my favorite quote is, when the going gets tough, only the tough gets going.
Right.
No matter how tough the situation is, you still have 24 hours and you can still take out time for your basic fitness. In Corona times, we have realized how important it is. And as I have mentioned about the lemon and spoon race, no matter how tightly we're going to be holding the spoon in our mouth of our career, if we're going to drop the lemon of good health from that, we're going to consider it as lost, and we cannot enjoy any success in life if we have been blessed with good health. It is very important to maintain that balance.
Right.
Much
Thank
their
you. Thank you.
commitments and food habits. Yeah, food habits is another challenge people tell me, but it is not very difficult once you get the hang of it, right? It's not very
Yeah.
difficult to do it. Yeah. We were into weight training, but young was like probably we started weight training only when we were in seventh and eighth grade, not before that, right?
Yeah.
Only when you go beyond the state level or national level, we get the exposure. So only beyond that. No
Right.
hurry for weight training, as Amit Bhaiya was saying. See, your body weight is more than enough to do all exercises. But if your kids like to play around, once they are 7 or 8 and they like to play with, all these half a kg, 1 kg dumbbells, that's fine. But you just have to keep monitoring them. There should be a coach who monitors them, actually. See, with respect to fitness, right, I would say you can have your short-term goals, but as such, there is no goal end to your fitness, right? You have a short-term goal, you achieve it, go with the next short-term goal, achieve it. And even if you're not able to achieve a goal, you still keep moving. You keep moving forward, right? You're never moving backward. You're not losing something. So as you keep going in your fitness journey, don't worry about losing motivation or something. Actually, motivation is too overrated. You just have to be consistent all the time. And also, have a varied goal. Like muscle building might be one goal. The next day, probably for the next season, you can try out, running, as Amit Bhai was saying. You can try out running, try to push yourself for that. So just keep different aspects of the goal, and I'm sure you'll be able to do it.
Right.
Exactly. That's what, you have to keep changing. Like, I don't know I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the person who asked the question. But the thing is, if you're going to continue, like, suppose you're doing 25 minutes of continuous running and you're doing it continuously. So you definitely going to feel bored. You have to keep changing. You start doing minutes running, you start doing other part of exercises, and in your body, there are enormous muscles. One day do abdomens, one day do something else. So keep rotating, keep changing your workouts so that it does not get you demotivated, or it doesn't become boring for you. Oh, he himself is an athlete, I remember, and he's
Okay.
one of the legendary athletes. Hi, buddy. That's a lovely question. I myself had a second innings, and I know, I'll just give you an example. Suppose you are doing 200 meters into 6 repetitions. In the first repetition, you don't need to put a lot of energy. But in the sixth repetition, for those maintaining the same pace, you have to put in a lot of energy. So in your second innings, definitely you have to work harder. You need to be more disciplined. You need to be more punctual. You need to take care of your diet, because young age, we can take anything and that's been digested. But in the second innings, after a gap year, or after a gap year of 4 or 5 years, everything have to be on a straight line. Everything should be fixed, that this is my diet, this is my workout, this is my sleeping time, this is my recovery time. So everything should be in black and white, and you should follow that path if you really want to come back with a bang.
Right.
Perfectly good what he said. And you need a lot of patience also, along with all of those things. You need to be really patient, and you can't just expect what you did, 5 years back. So I wish him all the best. Yep, I wouldn't mind weighing in my opinion on this. So it's just my opinion. Okay, see, as an athlete, I didn't know. When I was an athlete, I didn't know what a protein was, and even if I did, I had no intention of taking it. Even though I was a vegetarian, right? I was a vegetarian who didn't like milk, who doesn't eat eggs, who doesn't eat meat. But still, we were able to perform at least at the optimum level of our fitness. Okay, so young athletes don't have to. When I say young, I'm talking about below 18 and below 15, who are still have their natural growth happening in their body. So for me, young athletes don't really have to think that long now. But once you're into professional sports, once you're above 18 or something, and then when you're talking about your recovery times, when you're talking about, getting ready for the next session, and that's when I think you can have a good consultation with a nutritionist and take it forward.
Uh, Initially, I'll just add up to the previous question that excess everything is bad, and to the parent I must tell you that taking excess protein is more harmful than taking lesser. Our meals gives us enough protein and we don't need to take excess. And about the 6 meals, see, everyone has got different concepts. Throughout in my sporting days, I have never gone on to 6 meals per day. We in the sports camps also we had breakfast, lunches, and dinners. And in between, I still remember the 400-meter quarter miler Paramjeet Singh was supposed to gain weight. So he used to wake up in the night with an alarm and used to eat something or the other. But otherwise, all the nutritionists in our side, in our sports camp, never recommended us 6 meals a day. Like, I don't know what is the science. Definitely, see, the sugar level goes high and sugar level goes down. But throughout my sporting career, I've always maintained to the 3 meals. I will, first of all, I will strongly object in calling me a senior citizen, but yeah,
Sorry. Sorry.
just kidding. See, they can gradually see again, age is just a number, and there is no age for getting into fitness. It's not about how old you grow, it's how you grow. So start working out, start with brisk walking, start with easy walking. You can cycle, you can make a good group in which you chit chat, you laugh, and you're walking. And if your knees permit you, you can start running. People are running marathons, people are winning marathons at an age of, and like when I was running when I was running the masters category, I've seen 100-year-old Japanese finishing the 400 meters, no matter what time he finishes in. 100 years and everybody, and he was dancing at the finish. So it's all about in your mind. So I think you should enjoy fitness, make a routine of your life, and I think sky's the limit.
Okay. First, I really appreciate the women who, women or men who really show interest towards fitness in spite of injuries. For a common man or woman, when you get an injury, be it a ligament or lower back or disc prolapse or anything for that matter, they take a step back. But I really appreciate this. And then my point would be, see, I really have great respect for the doctors out here who have done their classwork, homework, and everything to understand our body, our anatomy and physiology, right? So without the required data, I wouldn't be able to directly say if that person can take up what kind of exercises that person can take up. But what I would say is, see, if work on fat loss initially, right? When I say fat loss, it might be, as Amit Bhai was saying, it might be the initial fat in the body which is causing strain on the hip or the knee or the shoulder for that matter. So start by working on the fat loss by basically consuming a calorie deficit, because a person with a knee or a back pain, can't start working out aggressively initially. So start with initial fat loss regime and start with basic body weight exercises, which do not disturb the area where you have a pain. But then do it after exercises come after a doctor's consultation. But another thing we have to remember is, but if you don't retrain the injured muscles, right, they have to fire properly. If you don't do that, then there is a biomechanical reaction or imbalance that happens, and you'll never really gain it back. So slowly you have to go into a rehabilitation mode and then start back on your fitness again. Injured people have come back to great levels. Athletes get injured all the time. So don't worry about it, but I would say take a doctor's advice first.
Never too late.
Never too late.
It's never too late. 35 is a category when I started my second innings. So when I was doing sprinting at that time, so why not marathon? Marathon, see, it's a lifestyle. Marathon is a lifestyle, and you can actually start thinking of starting with 5 kms. If you can't run 5 kms, start with 2 kms and gradually increase. Again, there is no age. 35 is nothing. You are young enough. I am young at 47, so you're just 35, so you can start anything you want to at this time. So all the best.
If you ask me, initially there's no specific number to a cardio session or a gym session, right? So it's about what you love doing it. If you, I'm very bad at cardio. I don't enjoy running long distances. So you would have seen me in my videos. I never do long distances. So it's about, first thing, it is about what you would like doing. And even the gym sessions, I would say, I mean, it's about what you like doing it. The other thing I would say is don't stick on to any one regimen, okay? Because there is this principle of specificity. You run, it makes you good at running. You do squats, it makes you good at squats. If you're deadlifting, just makes you good at like deadlifting. But what purpose it is going to serve in your life is very important, right? Why are we all trying to be fit? Okay, we are trying to be fit because our quality of life is going to improve. It helps me better to move in my daily life. It helps me play with my kids. It helps me take all that big dabbas on my attic, right? So that is what I need. So with the principle of specificity, I would say mix up the cardio and the strength training an equal amount. Don't overdo anything.
It's correlated. Like when you're doing marathons, suppose, or you're doing running, weight training is gonna give strength to your muscles to run faster and to protect your knees. So it is important, as Sangeeta said, to maintain the balance. And cardio, see how many cardio session depends on what event are you preparing for. If you're preparing for marathon, definitely you have to do more of cardio and less of weight training. If you want to just look good and spend time in the gym, then spend more time in the gym and less of cardio. But cardio is very important at the same time.
Right.
The monitor is a thermometer is our pulse rate. So it's 220 minus your age should be your maximum heart rate. So 220 minus how old you are, your age is, will be a maximum heart rate. So Bala, please try and calculate that and don't exceed that. See, that's why what happens is footballers usually, we have heard while playing a football match, he got a heart attack. Why? Because they try to chase the ball and exert too much, and the pulse rate or heart rate goes like really high. So we have to continuously monitor our heart rate. For anybody, you're going to check your pulse rate and see, or you nowadays we've got smart watches that tells you your pulse and all. So just make sure it should never exceed 220 minus your age.
Yeah, it's safe to do high intensity interval training. It's okay as long as Amit said, you are in your limits. I wouldn't say, I don't think you can even do a proper high intensity training for 40-45 minutes. I think 25 minutes you would, if you're doing it properly, you would be drained out by that time, right? I do Tabata and stuffs. By 25th minute, I'm drained out if I'm really doing it. Right. See, absolutely. When we were doing sports, it was a little, that was when this concept of whole mind training and all these were coming up. But today we really understand how important it is, and it's much more important than physical fitness to be mentally fit, right? Not just mentally fit, emotionally fit. Okay. I have seen clients who are worked out perfectly according to what the diet chart and the workouts that we give them, but just because of their stress levels, their emotions, and the way that they are not able to be mentally fit, we don't see any results. It's funny, but you don't see weight loss, weight gain. You don't see any improvement in your PR, personal records, or anything for that matter. So absolutely, mental health and emotional health is of prime importance. So speak out, have a lot of buddies around you, and have fun.
Yeah, that's why God has given brain on the top. You have to keep it calm. You have to think about it. And I personally, my mantra is like, if A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, then hard work will make it 98%. But an correct attitude will make it 100%. So have a right attitude towards achieving anything you want to. Find out that one reason which can actually hold you tight and you can focus towards your goal. So all the best.
I hope this inspires you to take your fitness seriously and to move on with those fitness goals that you have. Awesome piece of advice, great motivational stories, and most of all, your interaction. With that, we come to the close of Stay Fit 2021 on the Intricate Conversations with Swaps, episode 6. Once again, to know more about me, Swapnesh Sebastian, you can click the link which is shared in the description tag, And you can thank you speakers for joining us today and sharing your valuable time, Amit Khanna and Sangeeta, international athletes. We also would like to mention the role of Hemant bring us together, and we thank Sanafit for helping us put this together as well, our sponsor. And most of all, audience, we'd like to thank you, and we'd like to see you in the next episode of Intricate Conversations with Swaps. Until then, goodbye. This is your host, Swapnesh Sebastian, signing off. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe this channel. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Until then, goodbye.